So there are strategies everywhere from £50 a week up to £100 million pounds, and they're different. Right? They range differently from everyone, but and from country to country. To be fair, different countries have different tax laws, so different vehicles. But from your point of view, at the sort of normal end, I'm not going to call it the low end because I'm in that boat as well. It's as tax efficient as you can get it. That's where you start. You use all the tax efficiencies and then you step up into different things.
Welcome back to the show. It's your girl Sarah right here on Relaks Radio. And I'm super excited to be here because I have a lot to share with you. And I have a lot of opinions and thoughts that I would love to share with you as well. So make sure you stay tuned and you share your thoughts and opinions with me as well. All right. Now, if you want to get in touch with me and text me, well, you can do that. All you need to do is just text me on 07852473473. Share your thoughts, share your opinions. I would love to hear what you have to say. And right now, we're going to be talking about how if you're fully vaccinated, you actually really don't need to isolate, and why there has been this marked shift in the rules that were very different, that were very different, right? So that is what we're talking about. All right, now, if you want to, be updated about the very latest that happens in the world, then the best place for you to tune into is obviously Relaks Radio, right? Because we make sure that you're updated about science, sports, technology, whatever it is that you need to be updated about. We make sure that you're updated about all of it. All right. But however, for you to do that, you need to make sure that you actually go follow us on our socials, right? Now, you can go like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and you can actually make sure that you're always informed about the very latest by actually being by actually following us on our socials. All right, now, something else that you can actually do is to go download an app which is available on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. You can listen in from anywhere in the world at any time of the day, and make sure that all of your opinions, your thoughts, everything that you need to hear, everything that you want to be discussed is being discussed only on Relaks Radio. All right, now tune in to Sunrise with me, Sarah, and I'm here to keep you company and let you know about the very latest that happens. And the time right now for you is actually exactly 7:36 a.m. All right, so make sure to stay tuned, make sure to share your thoughts with us as well. All right, and now let's actually head back into our conversation, because we are going to be talking about how if you're fully vaccinated, you actually don't need to isolate. All right, so this actually came about, this is actually going to come about on the 16th of August, which is next Monday, right? And these are some new rules that they're actually implementing, these new rules that they want to put in place, because they have said that fully vaccinated people in England will actually no longer be legally required to self-isolate upon contact with a positive COVID case, right? So if they come in contact with someone who has tested positive for COVID on if they come across someone who's tested positive for COVID, they actually don't need to self-isolate. Instead, however, they're advised to go take a PCR test, and this is to determine if they are positive or not, right? And this is because there has been a marked shift from rules that have actually led to more than 14 million to be instructed to stay at home, right? And with the NHS COVID app, we saw a lot of change because so many people were pinged, and because of that, it resulted in so many people having to self isolate, which then led to supermarkets and other essential services actually running out of people to do the work that they had to do. And there was a staff shortage, and it was very hard for people to keep up with the demand and to actually supply for the demands, because of the amount of people that were getting pinged on a daily basis. Right now, ministers have actually confirmed that the legal requirements to isolate will actually also be replaced with non-binding with non-binding advice to actually go take a PCR test if you basically come across someone, right? And basically this this test is also relevant for people who are under 18 as well. If you are fully vaccinated and you haven't, and you come across someone who is who is positive for COVID, you don't really have to self isolate. You do need to take a test, and however, if your test comes back positive, you definitely need to stay at home. All right, and you definitely need to isolate. All right, and something else that we need to keep in mind is that those who do not come in contact with the infected will not be told to isolate, and also they will also not have to isolate when they are waiting for their results. So this is for both people who are negative and positive, right? Regardless of what your present COVID status is, while you're waiting for your results, you actually don't have any requirement, or you don't really need to isolate as well. All right, and for people who do test positive, like I said, isolation will continue. So that's just, the crux of it. It's the main thing to take away from this is the fact that you don't really have to self isolate. If you come into contact with someone who tests positive for COVID-19, all you need to do is just get another PCR test and see if you've tested positive or not. Right. And now, this was actually stated by the Health Secretary Sergeant Javid, who actually said on Wednesday night that the government was able to go ahead with the decision to exempt the fully vaccinated from isolation rules on the 16th of August, right? Which is obviously next Monday, right? And the reason he actually said this obviously is because, with people being able to get vaccinated, that has actually meant that a lot of people have much better immunity than they used to, right? So, something else that he said was that getting 2 doses of a vaccine has actually tipped the odds in our favor and allowed us to safely reclaim our lost freedom. So, that is what the news is. Now, make sure you stay tuned because we're going to head into a small break. And after that, we will be back to keep talking more about this. But obviously, until then, make sure that you stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. It is your girl Sarah right here on Relax Radio, and I'm super super excited to be here to share my thoughts, share my opinions with you as well, because we're talking about a lot of interesting things, and we're talking about so many different topics that are currently taking place all over the United Kingdom. All right, so if you want to stay more informed, stay updated about the very latest, and the way for you to do that is by being a part of Relax Radio and being a part of the Sunrise. All right, so make sure to to text me, call me, whatever it is, on 078-52473473. Share your thoughts, share your opinions with me as well. That way you can get in touch with me and let me know what your thoughts are on what we're discussing. Now, currently we're discussing this new rule that is supposed to come into place on the 16th of August, which is next Monday, where essentially if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to if you're fully vaccinated, you actually don't need to self-isolate. All right, so let me know what your thoughts are on this. Do you think it's a smart decision? Do you think they should actually go about with it? I mean, I don't know, it's all up to you to let me know. All right, so do get in touch with me and share your opinions with me as well. And don't forget to go follow us on our socials. Now, you can actually like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and actually go subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. All right. And that way you can always stay updated about the very latest. And something else you can actually do is to download our app, which is available on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store as well. Okay. So make sure you stay tuned and make sure you listen in as well, because right now let's actually head back into our conversation, which is basically if you're fully vaccinated, you don't really need to isolate. All right. Now, basically, to get back into the conversation, now Boris Johnson was actually under a lot of pressure from business to bring forward the 16th of August date. All right, and this was because of the disruption that was caused by the pandemic. Remember what that was? How there were so many people who were actually affected by it, because people were asked to isolate. They couldn't go to work. There was staff shortages. And it was very hard to deliver things, essential services, food, medicine, to people who actually really needed them because of the staff shortages that were caused by the pandemic. All right, so it's important to keep that in mind. However, he said that last month that the timetable was nailed on and that there was in fact no likelihood of it being moved, right? And I think that was for the betterment of this country, because obviously just because we want to help our economy, we want to boost our economy, that doesn't mean that we can take those decisions and put the rest of the country at risk. All right, and that is what I mean when I say that. All right. Now, when details were actually announced on Wednesday night, they were actually much less restrictive than they might have been. All right, so a lot of people were actually confused. Like, hey, why are these rules much less restrictive than they actually would have been, or they should have been, right? And it basically said that the fully vaccinated and under 18s will not actually be advised to get a PCR test if they're a close contact of a positive case, right? And that's simply because they're not required to, and they will also not be expected to isolate while they await the results of the test. All right, and for young people who in practice the cutoff point will actually be 18 years and 6 months. 6 months, right? Because people who are turning 18 will actually be exempt from isolation for another 6 months to allow them time to actually get fully vaccinated. So this new regime should actually be able to end the mass disruption of schooling as well, because when pupils actually return to class next month, they will actually allow this bubble system, right? And that has actually contributed to almost a quarter of pupils being out of school for COVID-related reasons by the end of summer term to actually be abandoned. So in my opinion, I think maybe we just have to wait and see how it goes in the next few weeks or days to actually see how it turns out. All right, but ultimately that is up to the health experts to actually tell us and let us know what exactly needs to be changed and what kind of steps we need to take to make sure we protect ourselves and we protect our family as well. All right, and now let's actually head into a small break, because after that we'll be here to talk about the newest COVID developments here in the United Kingdom. So obviously until then, make sure you stay tuned. All right, because I will be back.
The valuations that you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're always valuing what happened yesterday, and what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. What am I saving or investing for?